Hello everybody, welcome to another coding video where Spencer and I and Spencer's babies are going to take you through solving some problems using Python. Now, before we get into the main video, if you look below here, you're going to see an index which will, if you click it, it will take you through to the different parts of the video of interest. You don't have to watch the video all the way through to get to the different parts of interest, just click the index and it will jump directly there. Also below in the description to the video I've published a link to the presentation that I go through in the video, and also the code that I've published on Trinket. So I have two pieces of code. One is to solve the problem that I go through in the video, and then the extension challenge as well. So you can click that link and it will take you through to a solution. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope everybody's well. You take care. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back to challenge 2 with Python. This week we're going to be looking at school email address, so building a school email address based on information that's provided by a student, such as name, when the student started the school. So I know at Lord Bill's, the student email address, if you started in year 7, will be beginning with 19 or 19. Next year's year 7 will be 20. Anyway, we're going to write a program to manage that for us. You might notice here we have some Spencer babies. It's quite cool. Right, let's get started. So I have the presentation open in front of me. I will make all of this available. It's below on the YouTube clip. There's several links. There'll be a link to this presentation and there'll be a link to the code as well. So remember, we are going to be taking a GCSE computer science approach to this. So we are going to start with looking at the problem using computational thinking. So computational thinking is decomposition, breaking a problem down into smaller, more manageable problems. Abstraction, removing unnecessary detail. Pattern recognition, helping us simplify the problem by spotting similarities in it. And algorithm, a step-by-step set of instructions to complete a task, which in our case will be writing our Python program. Now, the problem that I'm going to explain now is not in Little Book of Algorithms. It's similar to the problems, but I thought, why not? This is quite an interesting problem that we have at school. It's a very specific way that we have our email addresses at school. Let's work out an algorithm, how we can build them. So the challenge is write a program that will take several parameters: first name, surname, year of starting school, and we'll use this information to create a student email address. So applying computational thinking and decomposing the problem, I'll move out of the way over here. So we're going to use a variable for each of the parameters: first name, second name, and third name, and then something called string slicing and concatenation to build the email address. Now, remember from year 7 and year 9, concatenation is where strings are combined together. So you might remember we had 3 plus 3 in Python is 3. Unless we make it very explicit to Python that they are to treat the 3s as numbers, we'll treat them as a string. Now, in the case of this email address, we want Python to treat these as strings. We're going to combine at school. We'll have, if we are a year 7, we'll say we started school in 2019, and we'll give our first name Spencer, surname Spider Plant. And you remember at school we have the 5. Let's build the email address. We have 19 plant, so the first 5 characters of your surname. So plant is Plant. That's 5, isn't it? So that's great. So we'll say plant, and then the first character of Spencer's first name. So it will be 19 plant S, as Spencer started at school in 2019. Now, as well, in the previous in the previous slides or the previous challenge, I used Scratch to build some pseudocode, but Scratch sadly doesn't have a very good. It's not really designed for text handling. There is a way to do it, but it's quite complex, and it's a bit complex for us to do it at challenge 2. So I'm jumping straight into Python. I think the Python actually looks very close to pseudocode anyway. So pseudocode is what you'll be creating at GCSE computer science. So you'll be creating your algorithm before you code it. So you're writing it down. So in this case, here is the code. So we have first name equals input. What is your first name? We'll run through this in a moment, but that will store the answer that you give. What is your first name? Spencer will be stored in first name. Surname, what is your surname? Will be stored in surname. And start year will be, in which year did you start at the school? 2019. That will be stored in the variable start year. So each of these are variables, and the answers will be stored, remember, in these variables. Now we have this very important but rather powerful line of code so it's so with the plus symbols mean combine the strings together, so concatenation, but we have this string slicing component here. So if I enter 2019, that's how I'm going to answer that question. In which year did you start the school? 2019. We want to remove 20. We only want 19. So we're using something called string slicing to remove it. And you'll see also for surname, we only want the first 5 characters, not if your surname is instead of plant, it's plantation. We only want the first 5 characters. So we do this. And then first name, we just want the first character. Now in Python uses an index. It has an index feature. So what this means is, well, let's start with first name first. It's perhaps the easiest. So first name 0 is index marker 0. So if we start from left to right, the first name Spencer, it just means remove or only pick out the first identifier. So that's the S. Everything else is ignored. For surname, it includes everything up to, but not including the 5th character. That may seem a little confusing, but that means we have 0 is the first character, then we have 1 as the second, 2 as marks the third character, 3 the fourth, and 4 the 5th. So that means we have 5 characters when we and our 5th character is ignored. So if we did 0 to 4, it would mean we'd ignore the 5th character, and obviously that's not what we're looking to do. So we have to do 0 to 5. Sounds a little confusing. That's how Python works, and once you use it a few times, you just get used to it. It's like the English language has some strange rules, doesn't it? But you just get used to it. Now start year 2 to 4. So 2019. So we want to exclude the first 2. So 0 and 1 are excluded, which means 2 and 0, 20. And 19 is the third and the fourth, or 19 is the third and the fourth index, which will be the second and the third. Sorry. The 19 are the index marker 2 and index marker 3. And remember, the 4 is it's up to but excluding 4. So it means 2 and 3. So 19. 2, 0, 1, 9. So practice this, and just the best way to get used to this is just to play about in Python. I've got this here in Python. Let's run it. So what is your first name? Spencer. What is your surname? Plant. In which year did you start at the school? 2019. Your school email address is 19plantes@lordwilliams.oxn.sch.uk. So you'll see we concatenate the variables together that have been sliced. The strings have been sliced, stored in variables, store them in username, and then we print username at lordwilliams.oxn.sch.uk. Right, so that is the that's how I'm looking for you to solve this one. I have an extension. For those of you ready to go, I know it's going to. What I want you to do is write a program that will take several parameters: first name, surname, year of starting school, and name of school attended, to build the email address. So, applying computational thinking, I want you to create a choice. So, a choice of Tame school. So, which school are you at in Tame, including primary schools? So, you could say, if one, print out at Lord Williams. If two, Barley Hill, at barleyhill.oxon.sch.uk, and so on. So I want you to, I'm not going to solve this for you. I have a solution here, so you can click this link, it'll take you through to a solution. But I want you to use selection with choices and options. Little Book of Algorithms has some guidance on how to create options, so you can have a look through that and see how you can solve it. And yeah, have some fun. So that's it from Spencer and Spencer's Babies. That's it for this challenge. And yeah, have a go at the extension, and I'll come back next week with some more Python and computational thinking challenges. Okay, everybody, you take care. Bye.